Have you got a problem where it's difficult to get your gas in when you're at the gas station and you're trying to put gas in? It either goes in very slow or it'll click back on you, or just you can't hardly get enough gas in it. This could be your problem. Now we're actually working on an 07 Ford Focus today, so we're going to be specific about that. If you have a different vehicle with the same symptoms, the details might be a little different, but check this out, see if it doesn't solve your problem. Now why this is a problem, because as you know, as you are adding gas, the tube and the gas tank have air in it. That air has to evacuate to allow room for the new gas. So there's a vent system in there, so as you are putting fuel in here, the air in the tank can actually vent out so that you get your gas in.
Here's a diagram of our gas tank, and it's about half full. Notice that the bottom portion is the liquid or the hydrocarbon, and the top is the gas vapor, or basically the atmospheric air mixed with the hydrocarbon particles. Now when our gas tank is low and we need to add gas, as gasoline enters, the air must exit. But we can't let that air exit to the atmosphere any longer, so we have to route it to a carbon canister. And inside that carbon canister, the carbons or the hydrocarbons are absorbed and stored. Now we can also then, because of the vent solenoid, let the air vent out to the atmosphere. But what if the vent is closed or plugged up? Then the air can't vent, and if the air can't exit, the new gas can't enter.
So our problem is we have a problem with the vent system on the gas tank. Now this vent system is actually part of the evaporative emissions, or what we call the EVAP system. There's a charcoal canister down here that's supposed to capture fuel vapors, and then there's a valve to open that so we can vent when we're filling gas. Now we've got ours jacked up because we're going to go underneath the car now to show you what the problem is, how to tell if it's your problem, and then how to make the repair. Now as you can tell, this is where you put your gas, the gas nozzle when you refill. So we're going to go up underneath the car, or down underneath it, and right inside the inside. Now as we come down here, you're going to see a couple tubes. This first tube is the gas fill tube. That's the one that actually the gasoline goes in. And the next tube over is the vent tube, and that's just for vapor or for the air to escape. Now you can see that we're going to go up underneath here, and it goes up underneath the axle, and we come over in here and we've got the same thing.
Now here's a diagram basically showing you where we're at underneath the vehicle by the axle underneath the gas tank. This is just basically a graphic depiction how it looks up above the axle underneath the gas tank. And this shows the canister vent solenoid highlighted in yellow, how it just slips into the canister.
Now you can see here, this is the bigger tube. This one is going to the gas tank, and that's where your actual gasoline flows. And then the next tube over is the vent tube. And that comes over and goes over to what we call the canister, charcoal canister that stores the gasoline vapors. That's part of the EVAP system. Now there's a solenoid over here that actually opens and closes the air passageway. It's an electronic device. You can see there's a plug-in for it. And so that opens and closes and allows the air in the tank to be able to vent. So when you push gas in, the air in the tank can exit and allow room for the gas. Now our problem here is this solenoid is stuck. Now if you want to verify this is your concern, let's go back this way a little bit. And this tube is actually going to be connected in here. It's kind of hard to get the camera and everything in here, but you can simply just pull that off. It just pops off. Now that tube then is coming from your gas fill port. Now whenever you're filling your car with gas, the motor should be off. So when it senses that the motor is off, it opens this valve so that it can vent. So technically you should be able to blow through this tube through that valve. Let's try it. So when you blow through this, you should be able to just blow completely through it and the air should move. If it isn't, then your valve is stuck. Now we're going to hook that tube back up to its elbow that goes up to the gas tank, and we're going to go back now to the valve. Now this valve simply is pretty easy to change. there's just a little tube that comes off of it. This is actually the same tube the other end. There'll be an electrical connector.
See it?
There's a little plastic clip that kind of keeps this up in place. So when you pop this out, you can see that there's just a little clip to keep it in place. And now this should just pull out of the charcoal canister. Now we're still under the car, and we've got the old one on the left and the new one on the right. Now to verify this, let's take the new one, and you should just be able to blow through the ports on it, and air should move. Now sometimes these valves, like this old one, when you bang it around, you can actually pop it inside and it'll actually open, which is the case in this one now because it is open. But if it is stuck, then you're not going to be able to blow through it. Now you need to transfer the one clip that's on the old one and slide it over the new one, and then you just simply put it back in place. Now once you get it in place, notice there's an O-ring on there. You just have to push it into the canister.
Clippy.
Move your clip around so it'll hold it up in place.
Push it in.
Your electrical connector needs plugged in. And then you've got just a little same old tube that we had unplugged. You just need to plug back in. And we should be good. So now after we've taken the old valve out and put the new valve in, we take it to the gas station again, and now the gasoline goes in normally.